Imagine waking up every Monday morning with absolute certainty that you will get 3 to 5 clients this week. No stress, no scrambling, no feast and famine, just predictable, consistent growth that lets you scale your agency with confidence. And this isn't some far-fetched dream. It's exactly what we've helped over 335 agencies achieve with what we call the authority funnel. In this video, I'm gonna break down the exact system that has transformed our client acquisition from unpredictable and stressful to automated and reliable. No fluff, no theory, just proven processes that you can implement right away on this video. You see, the problem with traditional agency growth is that agencies rely on really unreliable ways to get clients. Word of mouth, cold outreach that just drains your energy, randomly posting on social media, hoping that you'll go viral and get a client from it. And the problem with these approaches is that they create the dreaded feast and famine cycles where one month you're crushing it and the next month you're hunting for leads. Look, when I was scaling my agency, I lived this. I would attend networking events, I would tap into my personal connections, and I would just chase referrals all the time, and it worked until it didn't. See, I could never really predict when the next client was coming in, which made it impossible to plan my team's capacity, invest in growth and feel confident investing in growth, step away from fulfillment and work on the business, and create consistent cash flow. See, I needed a system that would bring in qualified, ready to buy leads consistently. It would allow me to build trust and authority with potential clients because consumer trust is at an all-time low, and something that would work without requiring me to be actively involved in everything. And the thing is, when I was scaling, when I was trying to create that predictability, I basically tried everything from cold DMs, cold calling, attending more networking events, posting, hoping that I go viral, but nothing delivered consistent results at the rate that what I'm about to share with you. And that is when we discovered the authority funnel that changed literally everything for me. And I know you're expecting me to say, oh yeah, you got all this results, but it's the same system that we've implemented into hundreds of agencies like Matt, who spent $300 in ads for his content day offer and generated over $6,300 in new revenue. We simply just plugged in the authority funnel, clients would DM him, he would qualify, jump on a sales call and close. Same thing we did for Todd, who spent $500, which generated 40 direct messages, led to 18 book calls, and resulted in closing 4 clients at $2,200 a month each, clearly demonstrating how the authority funnel actually works. It's also worked for people like Alex, who started running the authority funnel, spent $500 in just 2 weeks and received 40 DMs, booked 7 calls, and signed 3 new clients for a combined $6,000 per month. And this shows just how quickly this system can work for you. And before I get into this, before I show you the authority funnel system, no amount of leads will ever make up for poor systems inside of your business. If you don't have systems, you won't be able to fulfill for the clients. It's going to be a madhouse and you're gonna end up burning yourself out. That's why we wanna give you our Agency U operating system completely for free. So click the link down below in the description and download our full agency operating system that will allow you to be able to scale without burning out. Just click the link down below in the description. So the authority funnel works really well because it combines 2 key things that are necessary for scaling your business. Building your authority, aka building trust. Consumer trust is at an all-time low right now. And 2, an element of direct response in the direct messages, making it easier than ever to have conversations, to set appointments, and to follow up with people in literally the easiest way possible. So let's get into exactly how this works. So the first things first, the first pillar that we're going to be focusing on is content. I'm gonna put this here first because content is the first pillar that we as agency owners need to be focusing on because it builds trust. And if we're not building our authority with content that educates and entertains our consumers, it's going to be a really hard time to effectively run authority funnel, because what they're going to do is they're going to look at your profile, look at your Instagram, look at your social media, and this is what's going to earn their trust and ultimately turn a client who's maybe on the fence into a yes. The second thing that we want to be doing is we're going to create what's called a DM ad. So basically what the DM ad is, what we're doing is we're calling out our ideal customer, we're calling out the pain points of our customers, we're calling out the desired outcomes of the customers, and we are giving them a call to action to DM us. Meaning we're not driving them to a website, we're not driving them to watch a free training, we're not driving them to fill out a form and you contact them from there, because this creates a ton of friction. I've tried so many different methodologies of funnels, of workflows, of getting my clients to do a specific action, and it's always been that chase where I have to email them, I have to follow up and call them, and they don't remember what they filled out, and it just becomes a hassle back and forth. With this style of ad, what we're doing is we're having them direct message us. So we're making it easy, we're making it frictionless, and we're making it really simple for the client to reach out to us and just DM us a specific keyword. And also the benefit of the DM ads is you get to also qualify the customers. The problem that I used to have all of the time is I would jump on sales calls with people who weren't qualified, people who were clearly not a fit, and because they're DMing me, I can look at their profile, I can see if they're actually a business owner, I can actually qualify and see if they actually have the funds to work with me. From a shallow perspective, yes, but this allows us to not waste our time with following up or working with dead leads, which is the absolute worst thing that we can do from an agency level. The DM ad is just going to be a 9x16 ad. It can be talking head, it can be B-roll. What matters the most when we're talking about the DM ads is we are following creative that follows a really clear script that gets people to provoke basically action. This is going to be very direct response heavy. So for example, let's just say you're working with San Diego home service companies. San Diego home service companies, we will install our lead accelerator funnel inside of your business so that you can predictably get new homeowner leads on repeat. You can no longer deal with relying solely on referrals, and you no longer need to stress about your competition eating up all of the business in your area. DM me accelerator to learn more about how we can install this inside of your business, for example. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to speak to our ideal customers, to their pain points, to their desired outcomes with a direct response type of verbiage that gets them to provoke a response to learn more about what it is that you're offering. The easiest way to come up with creatives is to basically just take what I just said, throw it into ChatGPT, and have it spit out polarizing copy speaking to the pain points and desired outcomes of your ideal customers. So what we're going to do with our ads essentially is we are driving all of these to our Instagram. We're driving all of the content, all of the DM ads to our Instagram. And what we are prompting on the DM ad, most importantly, is for them to direct message us. They're simply going to our IG, into our conversations, and we can literally have a conversation with the lead in the DMs. What the next layer of this is leveraging AI. So when they DM us, we're not going to pick up our phone and start DMing them right away because we got this new lead, or drop everything that we're doing inside of our business and start DMing this person. We're gonna set up a mini chat funnel to have a conversation leveraging AI. And what we're able to do with this is when someone DMs us, we have a mini chat flow that will automatically have a conversation with them, qualify them, and ask them the appointment setting framework questions that we've come up with that are going to increase the likelihood of them actually booking in. So let's just say somebody DMs us the word scale. We're going to set up a mini chat automation that says, hey, thanks so much for reaching out. Cool if I ask you some questions about your business and see if this could be a fit for you. They say yes. Then what we're going to ask is we're going to ask about their situation. For example, for what we would put in the AI, because a lot of this is pretty much templatized and AI will basically do all the legwork for you. So you don't need to do anything, and speed to lead is paramount and extremely important. So how are you currently getting leads? What are you currently doing for social media? What's your current revenue at your business, to understand where they're currently at? Then what we would get to is the goals. What's the target revenue? What's the goal when it comes to marketing? What's the goal when it comes to lead gen? Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna get to roadblocks. What's stopping you from hitting those goals? What's stopping you from getting predictable leads? What's stopping you from becoming the most known in your area? Whatever that could be. And then what we do is we sell the call. It sounds like you're looking for predictable leads and you're struggling with consistency and finding a mechanism that actually does it. What's worked really well for us is what we call XYZ. You could easily hop on a 30-minute call and share exactly how it works if you'd be down for that. So we're having AI just follow a simple flow that allows us to completely automate our appointment setting framework using ManyChat and using our appointment setting framework so that we don't drop the ball. Because the worst thing that you could do is you could get a lead and you notice it 4 hours later, and the person who responded to you is now like doing something else and they're no longer interested in it because they forgot what they even opted in for. So this allows us to really work them through the appointment setting framework to get somebody from cold to sold, essentially. And what's going to happen in addition to the person that opted in is they're going to start looking at your content, they're gonna check out your profile, they're gonna make sure that you're actually legit, and that's where content's going to be more important than ever. So it's important that we have content in place so that when the person does opt in, what are they gonna do? They're gonna look at your modern day website, which is your Instagram. They're going to see if in fact you are legit. And the beautiful thing is you can do the same thing for the customer. You can look at their Instagram and you can see if they're legit and if they're actually worth having a conversation with. Of course, AI will assist with the basics, but there may be some human elements as well to help get the appointment setting framework, but you get the gist of it. So now once we have our DM ad, that's direct response, telling people to DM us, we're putting money behind this. Then we have content that's building our authority. We're starting to get DMs. The next thing that we're going to implement is what we call a retargeting ad. So basically what a retargeting ad is, it makes you omnipresent. It's like you see a piece of content and then you forget about it 30 seconds later. The problem with this is that person that saw your content could be your ideal customer. The person that opted in that didn't book a call could be your ideal customer. What they need need is they need more frequency of you. So now what we can do is based off of people that DM'd us, based off of people that watched our content, based off of people that engaged with our ad, we can set up an audience inside of Meta to only have an ad that speaks directly to the audience who's engaged and who's seen us. What this does for us is this allows us to be omnipresent to it. So it's profile visits, videos, engagement, comments, people who DM us. We can create lookalike audiences and feed that retargeting ad just to the select people that we want to see the ad, which is paramount for that frequency, for that omnipresence, which allows us to constantly stay in front of customers, build trust, build authority, and make sure that when they think about what it is that we're offering in our ad, they're thinking about us. So again, retargeting ads, really good bottom of the funnel creative could be stuff like case studies, testimonials, and really direct response ads that get people to provoke a response because they're already familiar with you. Where this is, they're pretty unfamiliar with you. Where the retargeting ads is, they're familiar with you, and you just need to get them over the edge to make the decision to in fact work with you. So what happens next is we set the appointment inside of the direct messages. Now what we're able to do is we can make sure that person that we're actually having a conversation with inside of the DMs is in fact qualified. And if they're qualified, we get them to agree to a call and we book from there. And the beautiful thing about this whole system is we can track this all inside of the Agency U operating system, which makes it easier than ever to know that in fact this is actually working for us. So what we do is we basically set up a Zapier that if they opt into a specific keyword, we have an automation in ManyChat that allows us to automatically put them inside of our leads operating system, our appointment operating system inside of the Agency U OS, so we can see all of the leads that we're getting. And then what we do is we just work off of the pipeline, the CRM inside of the Agency OS that hopefully you grab. So now that we have this system in place, let's look at the math behind the numbers and why this actually works so well. And not only has it worked for me, but the hundreds of agencies that we've worked with. So, all right, let's look at the numbers behind 15K a month with this strategy. So what we're seeing on average from our clients is around, let's call it $20 per lead. And what we're typically seeing for every lead that we're getting, or from like a lead to booking ratio, meaning leads to actually booked calls, we were looking at around 20 to 30% lead to booking. Meaning for every 10 leads that we're getting, we are booking 2 calls from that. That's pretty conservative. This is really dependent on your offer, your appointment setting ability, but this is, I guess, fairly average from what we're seeing. If we need to get $15,000 in new clients, we can assume the average retainer that we're seeing inside of Agency U is around $3,000. So we need to get 5 clients. So with a 25%, which is conservative, closing rate, because I'm assuming that most of the people who are watching this are still closing deals themselves, and usually founder closers probably get more of a 30 to 40% closing rate, but let's just be conservative, 25% closing rate. So if we need 5 clients and we have a 25% close rate, how many booked calls do we need? We need 20 booked calls per month. If we have a 20% lead to booking ratio at $20 per lead, so the math works out to us needing 100 leads approximately, which would equal $2,000 in ad spend. So that would be our ad spend right here to get 5 clients. That means if we spend $2,000, we can turn that into $15,000 with this framework, which is a little less than 8x return on ad spend, which we are seeing consistently from agencies. I mean, I literally think about clients like Ayush who spent $1,500 and generated $15,000 in new retainer projects, or people like Gabrielle who spent $2,400 on her authority funnel and she was able to get $24,000 in contracted revenue, or Dimitri who added $30,000 per month in new revenue. So this to me is the easiest way that you can generate revenue using an equation, using the model, the authority funnel, to predictably grow and scale your agency. And again, it's not only worked for me, it's worked for hundreds of agencies that we've installed the same system for inside of their business. So if you want to implement this same system inside of your business, what I would start with, I would 100% start building your authority just by creating content, which is free to do. I would create 3 different DM ad variations that you can test out and spread your budget, your daily weekly budget among the 3 different creatives to see which is a winner. I would set up your automation inside of ManyChat, your AI automation following the appointment setter framework that we set up together, and I would track all of your leads inside of a tool like ManyChat. I would give this 2 weeks before you make any adjustments, before you actually find the winning creative, and then 3 weeks later, I would set up the retargeting ad once you have enough data to actually retarget people. Then all you need to do is you just need to measure your metrics against these metrics and make adjustments as needed. And if you don't want to do all of this yourself and you want us to just install the whole authority funnel system inside of your business, help you write your copy, help you launch it, set up your retargeting ads, and even set up your AI automation appointment setter for you, then you can click the link down below and book a call with our team. Otherwise, if you like this video, you're going to love the video that we're going to put on the screen. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you on the next one.